So, hey guys, I am going to be, my Monday video. So my Monday video this week is going to be bullying, suicide, self-harm, social anxiety, depression. These are subjects that are very, very close with me because things that have happened to me. People that I have relationships with. I know you all are just like, oh my god, these subjects are talked about too often. Truth is, I don't think they're talked about often enough. Bullying. Bullying, in its simplest form, is something that one person does to the victim to make them feel uncomfortable or less human. And I can't tell you how many times I see this in the halls in Sanford. Everywhere, in every clique, every social group, this happens everywhere. How many of you have heard of Farmington, New Hampshire? But Farmington was not a very good place to live. That's it. That's the small town of under 7,500 people. I spent my entire childhood there. I never moved. I never knew another house. And being an honor roll student or high honor roll student there, in my opinion, was extremely dangerous. And I'll tell you why. Well, it depended on if you were a high honor roll student and you were popular. However, me being an honor roll student that was an underdog and involved in like every arts program, I got beat up constantly. Almost every day. And it got to the point in school where I got used to it happening, because no matter how hard I tried to get the principal or a vice principal involved in this, nothing ever changed. Nothing ever stopped. I would get pinned up against the wall and punched and got thrown on the ground and kicked and pushed downstairs. There might be some of you out there wondering why I didn't fight back. I tried, but sometimes there was more than one person. There was this time after lunch, and this one senior was harassing me and calling me all these names like, forgive my language. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to forgive my language. But he would call me a see you next Tuesday, a slut, a whore, a bitch, a faggot, and he would say that I was a good for nothing and that I should just go die because nobody wanted me there. Fun fact, if you tell somebody to go kill themselves, it's considered encouraging suicide, and you can get a fine of $25,000 and 10 plus years in prison. If they actually commit suicide, you can be charged with manslaughter. So just stop saying it. Anyway, we were on our way up the center staircase when he started calling me a good for nothing again, and he started to spit on me. I promptly pinned him against the wall, kneed him where the sun doesn't shine, spit in his face, and I walked away. And I was kind of glad about that. I kind of felt good fighting back, even though I know violence won't solve anything. That senior left me alone for the rest of the year. The second time I fought back, was in the cafeteria waiting for things. Like we had after school clubs and whatever. And another kid came up to me and started calling me the same things. He then grabbed me by the hair and dragged me around the cafeteria before picking me up and pretty much throwing me into a lunch table. That's why I wear a knee brace sometimes. That's why it's why I wore a knee brace the entire, pretty much the entire marching season. The area that I lived in was okay, but, I could walk all of you and point out where all the druggies lived, where the teens who would smoke pot before school or drink before school or party hard on the weekends. The high school constantly smelled of marijuana, and kids would sell it out of the second floor boys' bathroom and they'd smoke it during school. Funny story, when I was in the 8th grade, we had this funny system where the 8th graders couldn't use the junior high hallway because we were too loud coming back from lunch, so we had to go out the back cafeteria doors, down the back parking lot, and then, use the entrance on our end of the building. And we were all outside, we were just about to go in when they gave the signal for a lockdown. But all the events that had transpired before this, it was probably going to be a drug search too. And it was a drug search. We were all locked outside, It was snowing. It was less than 20 degrees. And then one kid next to me was like, "Shat, I left my pot in my bag." And we all started laughing. Anyway, back on the subject. Bullying. You all know what this is, and I guarantee you've been a witness to it. The bully, the victim, and the bystander. The person who bullies. If I had $1 for every time I've encountered one of these, I'd be a frackin' billionaire. And I feel bad for these people who bully because they think that a worthwhile use of their time is bullying. And the victim, I don't need to explain this because you all know what the victim is. Bystanders. I've learned that there are 3 kinds. The first kind is kids who assist. They don't or may not start the bullying, but they encourage and sometimes join in. Kids who reinforce. These people are the ones who give the bully the audience. They usually laugh or provide some sort of support. Like, fight, 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 or ah. And outsiders. They're separate. They don't reinforce or defend. They just watch. It's America. We are suffering from a bullying epidemic. Bullying is a disease, and it doesn't seem like there's any cure for it. There is no cure for it. They appear everywhere. School, work, and once a bully gets in your head, it is so difficult to get them out. 28% of students in grades 6 through 12 experience bullying, and 30% admit to bullying. And think about it. These are only people in grades 6 to 12, and only people that admit to it. Think of how many more there actually are. Just think about it, because only 20 to 30% of these children tell an adult. The next one is suicide, but there's also going to be social anxiety mixed, in that having depression and social anxiety is like depression, social anxiety. Depression and social anxiety mixed together is just like what? Depression and social anxiety? Basically like not giving a crap about anything but simultaneously caring about everything way too much. And it's so hard to deal with. But suicide, like depression and suicide, particularly suicide be caused by bullies. I know this all too well, but we'll get into that in a little bit. This is a very hard subject for me to talk about, so I'm sorry if I start to cry. Suicide is the 3rd leading cause of death in people ages 15 to 24, and many high school students seriously considered suicide in the past year, and some reported making at least one attempt the previous year. Warning signs of possible suicide include showing signs of depression like ongoing sadness and withdrawal from others, talking about or showing an interest in death or dying, engaging in dangerous or harmful activities like reckless behavior, substance abuse or self-harm, saying goodbye to everyone, and saying that things would be better without them. I've heard people say these in the hallways and out in public, say that suicide is a coward's way out, and they go on trying to defend this. Let me stop them right there. It's not cowardly, it's tragic, and it's so sad to think that someone felt so alone, felt so damaged and hurt that they felt that they needed to take their own life. People that think suicide is a coward's way out are the worst kind of people. This is where it gets emotional. Just look at look at the picture. Did you look at that? Did you look at that face? That was a girl named Drea. She and I were best friends, and she was like a sister to me. When I was in the 8th grade, she was a freshman in high school, and because of that, I hardly ever saw her anymore. I didn't know any of the things that she was going through. Apparently she had come out, and she was being badly bullied because of this, but also being bullied because of being bullied. That happened to both of us. And nobody cared, which didn't surprise me because people only cared if you were rich or skinny and pretty or were good at sports, and they could care less about all the art students who were good at playing music, who could play piano, who could play guitar, who could paint and draw and write books. That hurts. But on On June 17th, 2013, Andrea killed herself. I didn't find out until the 19th. I was waiting in 8th grade. Everybody had to wait in, like, the gymnasium of the junior high before, like, going to their classes, and that's where I was. I was waiting for the bell to ring before classes began, when her cousin gave me the news. When her cousin gave me the news, I didn't care who was watching. I just cried. And I cried for close to the entire school day. So just pay attention to what I'm about to say right now, okay? All of you, you look down on people with depression and social anxiety like it's a weakness. They're not. Depression and social anxiety are not signs of weaknesses. They're signs of having tried to remain strong for so long. Like, look around. Look around at each other right now, where you are. I don't care if you're in school, or if you're in an auditorium, or you're out in public at some, like, frickin' bus station or train station. The person sitting in the seat next to you, or 3 or 5 seats away from you, could have depression, or have social anxiety, or have thoughts of suicide. Just because someone's parents are together, or someone has a nice house or nice things, isn't poor, doesn't eat your eats every day, and has a loving family, doesn't mean they can't be depressed or have those problems. This happens to everyone. And not all people who smile are happy. Maybe those smiles hold secrets. Maybe their eyes have cried a million tears. I've been depressed for a year or so, and sometimes people are like, but you're smiling. Oh, you're just shy. You have an overactive imagination. It's all in your head. You choose to be this way. It's not real. Stop. Just stop. It's like, I'm sorry I didn't bring my literal black cloud of sadness with me today. I left it on my kitchen table next to the English project I never did. Mental illness, everybody, is real even if you don't see it. If anyone watching this has depression or is suicidal or is self-harming, whatever the case may be, you're a beautiful person. You look really nice today. Your hair looks wonderful. Your eyes are really bright. I know you may look in the mirror and look at yourself and hate what you see, but I think you're beautiful. Hold hands, not razors. Cut cake, not wrists. Sing loudly, not cry softly. There will come a time when you wake up and you hear an infant or a baby or multiple children crying, and you realize that you've become a successful person, a great mom and dad, and that you've become a beautiful human being that you never thought you were. So, my beautiful friend, let me give you some advice. In the words of Catherine Tate, please don't ever sit in your room and lock yourself away because you don't think you're good enough. If you haven't eaten today, make your favorite meal. If you cut, bandage them and flush your razors. If you call yourself ugly, look at yourself in the mirror, gaze straight into your eyes, and look at yourself. You're beautiful. I know it's hard. Just pick yourself up slowly. Remember, you rock your haircut or that new outfit that you look gorgeous in, and it may seem like suicide is the only way out, but remember that I love you. And so many people love you, and life is wrong. And remember that you're beautiful. You're alive. You're okay. You have people that care about you. You can do this. It's okay to be scared. You're okay. You can do this. Today might not be a good day, but you're alive and that's okay. It's okay. You're okay. Deep breaths. You're okay.